May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing to you, my rock and my salvation. Amen. Today we continue our journey with Jesus, the healer, the one who reveals who God is through his hands and through his feet. Jesus crosses the lake again, the very same lake that we heard about last week, the lake that had turned up and churned with violent measure. We hear of Jairus, one of the synagogue leaders, coming forward and fell at Jesus' feet. Now, does anybody know what the connotation of what it means when you hear somebody fell at somebody's feet? See, in the New Testament, when we find when a learned person falls at someone's feet, they have taken the position of a student. Jairus is a student of Jesus. In fact, his name means enlightened one of God. The enlightened one of God throws himself at the feet of Jesus, praying for his daughter who is dying. You know, it's interesting that he asked Jesus to come for someone who is dying. This isn't just a every ordinary cold. That there is some deep pathology going on in the story. And a young woman is dying. You know, I saw an ad for St. Jude's the other day, and it said that one out of every 5 children that are diagnosed with cancer die. I can only imagine what the number might have been during the time of Jesus. 99.999%. Jesus went to heal Jairus' daughter. But life got complex. Life got busy, and finally you hear the story of how there is a great crush of people around the teacher, the rabbi, the one who would teach us what it means to be followers of God. Have any of you ever been in such close quarters before, where the crowd is actually pushing in on you? You know, I remember such a time myself on Black Friday. Everybody was crushing in on me, trying to get something for nothing. In fact, the story that we hear of the woman with the issue of blood, we hear a story that is more like a Black Friday story than anything else. Everybody was crashing in on Jesus, trying to get something to change their lives. But the interesting thing in this story is that it takes faith for things to happen in our lives. A faithfulness that comes to us through Jesus Christ as we experience what it means to love and honor each other. I don't know what kind of gynecological problems this woman had, but in the time that we hear about Jesus healing this woman, that the issue has made her unclean. She's not able to go into the temple to worship. Her husband is no longer able to touch her, nor her family members. 12 long years of being ostracized, set on the outskirts of society, is what this woman has dealt with. She longs to be touched. She longs to feel loved. And so she reaches out her hand to the hem of the garment, to the one that would provide salvation, one that would right the wrongs of our world, that would heal her carnal body and draw her close into the Spirit's realm. Jesus recognizes that something magnificent has happened. Her faith has made her well. Any of you have faith like this? If I could just get there, if I could just do these things, I could reach out my hand and bam, I would be healed. You know, I can say honestly, in my 10 years of ministry, I have never had one person reach out and try to grab this stone. Not once, unless it might be to choke me a little bit. Jesus is the one who finds that it is through her diligent seeking, her prayers, that she is healed. That she is reunited into the kingdom of God. Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace. Shalom. Healed from your dis-ease. While Jesus was still speaking, we find that the friends of Jairus, the synagogue leader, come and tell him that your daughter is dead. We don't need to take up the time of Jesus. Apparently he is busy healing people. We will just bury her and mourn her death. But Jesus says, keep trusting. I find it odd when we hear this story of Jesus saying, keep trusting. He hears the commotion outside the house. A commotion that was done with religious fervor. Did you know in the first century you hired mourners? Any of you know that they hired mourners? Mourners do a big job, all right? It's not just the typical crime that we see today. Not just the boo-hoos or the tears that run down our face when someone dies, but we hear that it is loud wailing. Loud wailing. But Jesus knows something's about to happen. Jesus knows that through trusting the still speaking God, that things are going to change, that life is going to come about, that love is going to continue to give us new options of life, new options of love, new options of grace, new options of mercy. For this is the salvation that Jesus brings to us, ones of life and mercy and grace. Moments when we fear the inevitable, we can find comfort in God. Jesus comes into the child's womb. A 12-year-old child. Now, do you see a parallel there? The woman with an issue of blood had suffered for 12 years. The child had lived for 12 years. The 12 is not just an accident here in the story of Mark. It is one that points us to the direction of the 12 tribes of Israel. A holy number that says that we are in the community of God. We find that the woman with the issue of blood had come into the community of God despite her illness. Despite her being unclean, God righted the world with her healing. The same is true for the woman, the young girl who was dead. That to touch a body was something that was unclean. But Jesus says to her, Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi is the Hebrew words that you find in your bulletin this morning. If you look in your bulletin, those are the words that Jesus spoke to the young girl. In Luke, there's a little different translation of it. He says, "Daughter, get up." We find that women are a part of the family of God. That in the first century, women were on the edges of society. Your job was twofold: cook dinner and have babies. But the reality of it is, through the love of God, we find that the women in the first century church were women that were strong, that were bold, that got up every day, that helped fund the church. Women have always been strong. Jesus made the body of the 12-year-old girl strong again. He healed her body. He made her soul alive again in that body. A body that was created for love and laughter, for joy, for service. Now, when I say service, it's not that kind of, "Hi, how can I help you? Would you like fries with your cheeseburger?" It was a life of service that truly mattered, that truly changed the world in which we live. The first century saints were ones where women and men were equal, that they came and they shared the love of God, and things began to radically change. No longer was it just woman, but it was daughter, get up. For you have work to do. Today, we as children of God have to get up. We have work to do. We need to share the love of God in our communities. That there are boundaries to be pushed, boundaries to be reached out and crossed, because the love of God transcends boundaries. Children that were once unclean are made clean, and women who were on the edge of society are made clean and holy. Given the task what God has given each one of us to do, to love and show mercy and be a people of gracious living. For when we are a people of gracious living, we find out what the gospel message is. The good news that life is to be transformed. That we are all on the edge of healing. We are on the edge of glory. And we simply have to reach out our hands. Reach out our hands and touch each other. Reach out and lift our hands and touch our God. Reach out and touch each other and see the God made manifest in each other's eyes and in our hands and in our feet. This week, my prayer for you is that no matter how hot it gets, you reach out your hands. Now, that may be reaching out with a fan, a manual fan. It may be reaching out with an electric fan. We find that in the hottest time of year, this is when people generally pass away. You have the opportunity to bring life this week. Through volunteering with the Red Cross, through MANA, through many other organizations. Faithful life is a life found in God's love. Amen.